Video, I would like to talk about the differences between custom home quality, materials, that type of thing, and what you're going to find in a track home. There are some similarities and some differences. And by the way, I've spent my life in the housing industry. I own construction companies. We've done our remodels. I've bought many homes in Bend, Oregon, and I've been involved in hundreds of real estate transactions, sales, everything from commercial, land, ranches, residential real estate, and been living here in Central Oregon for 30 years now. So I have really good insight and have just a lot of exposure to the whole industry. So let's get on with it. So I want to talk about some similarities that you're most likely going to find between a $5 million house and a $600,000 new home, okay, that's just being built today. And although over the years, let's say from like the early 50s until now, materials have changed over the years. Dimensions, also building codes have changed. For example, in Central Oregon, used to be 2x4 exterior wall, like pretty much you're going to find in like California or warmer climates, where the need for more insulation is not the thing. In Central Oregon now, in Oregon in general, a 2x6 exterior wall. So that just means that instead of it being this thick, it's this thick, and you can get more insulation into a thicker wall. So a 2x6 exterior wall is great. It's stronger. It's more weatherproof, insulated at a higher level. It's also quieter, and you can build on top of it. You can go to a 2-story. For example, if you have a 2x6 exterior wall on a garage, like a detached garage, no problem. If you want to add that apartment on top of it, that can be done. If it's a 2x4 exterior wall, you have a problem, okay? But let's talk about the commonalities between a custom home and a track home. In many cases, the building materials are very similar, if not exactly the same. Your plywood can be basically identical. Your 2x4s, your 2x6s, the materials are essentially identical. Sheetrock, insulation. The things that can differ are how those materials have been managed, how they've been transported, and if they've been kept dry, if they've been kiln dried. Those are things like when you get into a really custom homes, clients will say, hey, we want the very best quality management of the materials, sourced materials. And so, you end up with, let's just say, if you're framing a home, you want to also pay attention to when it was built and framed, in the middle of the winter or in the middle of the summer. So is that wood, is the lumber really dried out well? Okay, glues work better, paints work better if they're built in a drier season. But sheetrock, insulation, plywood, a lot of these things are absolutely identical. When we get into windows and HVAC, heating and cooling systems, sky's the limit on what can be built into a really custom home. So the nuts and bolts of the quality of the home can go way up. Systems become more expensive. You might even have multiple AC units and forced air units in a large home. If we're talking about a 2,000 square foot track home, you're going to have the very most economical choices. You're not going to have the very most expensive appliances and so on, right? But when it comes to sheetrock, plywood, paint, a lot of those things often can be very similar, if not the same. So focus your attention on the quality of the appliances, the windows, kind of insulation your home has. If you're looking at the difference between $1 million and under and $1 million and over, if you're spending $1 million and over, it needs to have those things that can't be easily changed. The build quality. And how do you know build quality? Oftentimes builders have developed their subcontractors and nurtured those relationships over many years. And when you're hiring a custom home builder, it's more about their subcontractors and their experience in the projects that they've been involved in over the years. that really separate them from somebody that's building their first 5 houses ever, um, or building homes where the budget really is the thing that determines what you're doing. It has priority because they know that they have to sell this house for a set price. So that's a big deal. Little things add up quickly when we're talking about building a home. Hardware and doors, lighting fixtures. You could spend $1,000 on an exterior light, or you could spend $59 on one. And those things oftentimes, just to look at it quickly without being really familiar with quality, you might think, yeah, this is great. Over the years, the difference in quality will show. So, is it going to be good for 3 years, or is it going to be good for 30 years? So roofing materials vary greatly, the quality. So there's a lot to know, and if you don't know a lot about it, it's okay. You just need to make sure that you're working with somebody that can really kind of keep their eyes out for you, and that's what we try to do here in our business. When I say our, I'm talking about my team, my family, as we are working together in the real estate industry. So having that insight is if that's what you're looking for in a real estate broker, I'd love to help you. MrBendoregon.com for more information. I could go on and on about this subject. It's a deep subject, and every home is different. So as we're looking at properties, talking about real estate, we can go deep dive when it's needed. And if you don't need it, that's fine. We don't have to bore you with the details. So I hope we can continue this talk in the future. If you have interest, and love to talk to you, like, share, follow me, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Hope to talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.